are so many things that we rationalize every single day of our lives, and it makes me sick, and I get so twisted about it. But if I have the propensity to be bad, if I realize that I have that same propensity to be as good as I can be, and knowing that makes me glad, knowing that makes me glad. Maybe there's a reason that I fell off, Maybe there's a reason why I fucked off, Maybe there's a reason why I did such shameful things, so that I could live to tell a bottom and say, hey, God loves you, He really do. God loves you, He really do. He really wants you to come back to Him. And I look back on the life I used to have, and I still can't believe that I didn't die. Over and over and over and over and over and over, we make the same mistake. Over and over and over and over and over, we just continue to break ourselves down. You want to see? I am a white American girl, so see this. That's the international symbol of recovery. It's also a Freemason symbol. Don't think I don't know. Okay. It figures that I get this symbol embedded into my wrist on my cutting arm. Will you see that? I wasn't a real serious cutter. Okay. Those are real petty scratches. They are. Those look like cat scratches. But yeah, this was my cutting arm, you know. Everybody should have a cutting arm, you know, because if you're going to self-mutilate, you got to do that. Because you got to have one arm that's, like, relatively decent. You can't make it too obvious how fucked up you are in the head. But, you know, I cut myself for multiple reasons. I thought that I wanted attention, but then I got attention, didn't want it. Figured that out immediately. But I mainly cut myself because, I just wanted to feel some shit, you know? And it's like, looking back on that, it's like, it's been a long time since I've done that, but I understand why I did it, you know? Like, I think that people have the tendency, whenever they quit something, to look back on that like, I did these things and they were so terrible, and now I have to spend the rest of my life trying to educate people on why they shouldn't do those things. And that doesn't make a lick of sense to me, because if the bad things led you down a path of, like, salvation, and you were troubled, and you were, you know, insecure, or you were depressed, or whatever you were feeling at the time that motivated you to self-mutilate, or to drink a lot, or to do a bunch of drugs, or to steal, or to spend money compulsively, to gamble. Right now, you know, I would say that the main problem that everybody has, I shouldn't say everybody, but a lot of people on the internet, I would say that their main problem is that they're compulsively going on social media. I had the problem where I was compulsively looking things up. And I couldn't just, like, look one thing up and stop. You know, it was like, I was so obsessed with, figuring everything out. And this was really bad when they were, like, locking us down in the beginning, you know. And there, a lot of the stuff that I was reading about, like, I already knew about it, but it was, like, now it was out in the open, because they wanted to make it seem like certain things were happening, but they actually weren't happening. They just used all this stuff as a distraction so that, they could continue with their little plan. That's always that way, though. But, yeah, I got really obsessive about certain things, and it actually wasn't until I started attending the Orthodox Church that I finally just let a lot of that stuff go. So, it's like, I can't control what other people do. I can't control the medical decisions that other people make. I can't control, like, if people, go to the blah, 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 the voting ballot. I can't control if people do that, I will say this, though. I can offer people drinks if they don't vote. I'll buy you a bottle if you stop voting for the rest of your life. I will buy you a bottle to be the best Samaritan. It's not enough to just be a good Samaritan, okay? Nobody's a good Samaritan anyway. They think that if they do the bare minimum and press a button on fucking, whatever that day is, election day, right? It's like they think that if they do that, then that makes them a good citizen. But it doesn't, because it doesn't accomplish anything. Did Donald Trump not prove anything? Probably not. Every single thing that they're told, they just forget. I like that. It sounds like a doorbell. No, that's not the doorbell. What's the... You know what doorbell I'm thinking about, right? You're thinking of a fucking grandfather clock. Yeah, I am. That's more of a doorbell sound. I think that you should do that in your set, but it would have to be, like, coordinated, And that's something that's really hard for you. Like, you could just say things, like, you could make statements like, voting's stupid, and then, ding dong, ding dong, ding dong, America, are you ever gonna get the door? Something like that. That's the idea. Will I do this? Probably not. But just to let you know, we've got great ideas, okay? Yeah, I don't think that America will ever wake up to its bad decisions. The problem with Americans is that they can't accept their part with the system, So they want to complain about the system, but they don't want to accept the fact that they have a part to play in why things are shitty. And when they're on their phone all the time, and they're just, like, in this drama, all it is just, like, a giant fucking gossip reel. Like, that's all it is. That's all it is. Like, the news media is just fucking gossip. Everything on social media is gossip, okay? And I'm not saying that there aren't real things that are happening, but it just seems like really terrible people benefit from this, okay? It's very seldom that good people benefit from these things that we feel the need to carry around all the time that we think are so necessary, And I'm just trying to wake people up to that what you do matters. What's in your hand all the time matters. Not you pressing a button or, the stuff that you claim you believe. If you really believe it, you should make a really large assessment of all the things in your life and look at the stuff that you do every day. Look at the stuff that you pay attention to. Look at what you eat. Look at what you listen to. Look at, like, the stuff that you think is music. Look at the stuff that you think is entertainment, okay? And make an honest evaluation of all that shit and ask yourself, does doing all this stuff, does watching this, listening to this, eating this, does this go along with my worldview? Does this go along with my so-called belief system? Because if it doesn't, you should probably stop doing that shit. Okay? And that's my problem with these Americans. And I say that because I don't feel like I live here, even though I do. I've lived here my whole life. But it's like they don't know what hypocrisy is. They have no idea what hypocrisy is. You know, there are certain things that, you know, certain, like, you know, aspects of my life that I really don't like, you know, but it's like, I just kind of have to accept it because it's just the way that it is. You know, like me going on YouTube, or me driving a car, because, like, you know, this is the way it is now. I have to work to make a living of some sort, and so I have to do things that I don't really agree with. But I guess that's why I'm so hardcore about the smartphones. Like, that's why I refuse to have one, because it's just like, dude, you're not going to make me give in to this. You know, I already, like, have things that force me to be part of the society that, like, I just fucking hate it so much. But it's like, okay, as long as I don't get a smartphone, then it's like, I'm not really that involved in our society, because it's like most people just live on the internet, you know? I mean, there's no denying this shit. So it's like, if I don't have the technology that pretty much enables, like, the powers that be to do what the powers that be do best, you know, screw everybody over while everybody's complaining about certain things that they think are unfair, but all these other things they do to themselves. They sign up for that shit. And then, you know, if you try to bring this up, if you try to tell them, like, hey, you're giving into this, hashtag, that's you, it's like they get so defensive. But, you know, I'll never stop talking about this. I've already said that. I'm just going to keep saying it. I put my foot down. Sometimes it feels like a well, but it's just as well, 'cause I'm satisfied with my lifestyle. I am. Speaking of that, this is probably my friend that I didn't want to call, so I'll talk to you later, Vortex. Hello.